What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescast now, episode 83, topic 1. I'm Alex. This is our conversational gaming show, a show that airs every other week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Now, for this episode, we're going to be having two topics, one today and one Wednesday. This is the beginning of May, and it's the beginning of Gamescast now in May. So what I want to do with all of these topics is start to get ready for E3. I want to talk about some things that I think we could be seeing at E3, ask some questions about E3, and so basically I'm going to be centering Gamescast now around E3 for the month of May. I'm very, very excited to do it. I'm very excited to start it out with Harry Potter Magic Awakened. I want to talk about if we're going to see Magic Awakened at E3, if this is going to be something that we are shown at E3. And I think the odds are pretty darn high. I think, it's lost a bit of steam. I don't think it's wrong to say that at all, because obviously this was announced or, inadvertently leaked back in October, okay? And then there was a lot of talk about this game for a couple months. It was a very, high traction game, and then we obviously got a big, storm of kind of info right off the bat of what this game kind of was going to be. We got some speculation as to what studio it's going to be, because this is owned by Warner Bros. And so people thought that it could possibly be Rocksteady. People thought it could be this studio, that studio. There was just a lot of talk of this game kind of up front and early on. Now, since that time, there really has been next to nothing, and almost everything that we had heard about it, and all these kind of leaks and these posts and these videos even have all been copyright. They've all been taken down. They've all been asked to be removed. So, it's basically gone very, very quiet. And I guess that's fair. You don't really want a game of this magnitude to be leaked out this badly. And I talked about that when I made the first video about this game. I talked about, is this game real, or where was this game? Because I think we all expected it to be shown at the Game Awards in 2018, and we never saw it. So it was like, well, can you really have such a property, such a title, so many things about this game kind of already known, but then also not show it? It sounds honestly very much like Warner Bros. And to be honest, I feel like they're the publisher that gets the most leaked stuff about them in all of the gaming world. All the rumors of the Suicide Squad game, the Wonder Woman game, the Batman Arkham game, Arkham Insurgency, a new Arkham game, a Superman game. So many rumors, and they all sound pretty legit as to if they did exist or that they do currently exist. And now we get another game, Magic Awakened. The only studio I think that we really hear this much about is actually Ubisoft from Assassin's Creed. We normally hear a lot about that game through leaks like a year before. So it's just kind of weird that we have experienced all of this knowledge about this game and we still don't really technically know that it exists. They've not yet said that this game is actually real. So, I think E3, perfect time. I think, honestly, E3 this year, and we'll be talking about in other videos, but E3 this year is going to be dominated by, in a way, like the quote-unquote smaller announcements. It's not going to, and by that I mean, it's not going to be dominated by the big conferences. It's not going to be Bethesda's conference, Microsoft's conference, Sony's conference. Sony doesn't even have one. EA's pulled out. They're doing that EA Plays, but they're not having an actual press conference. And again, PlayStation not being there is a really, really big thing, and I think a big trend that we're going to see for E3. But what does that mean for this E3? I think that means we're going to see the kind of studios that don't even have press conference. You don't need a press conference. That's the end of the day thing too. I may make a video about that. You do not need press conferences. This E3, I think personally, is going to be dominated by Warner Bros. Because I do believe we will see a new superhero game, whether it be Rocksteady's game or whether it be the new, if they are making an Arkham game over at the studio that made Arkham Origins, or if they're making something else, I think we'll see that, or the Rocksteady game. So I feel like one of those two will be shown. I do think Magic Awakened has a pretty good chance of being shown. Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red has talked about how this is going to be their biggest E3 ever, so they'll probably announce the release date for Cyberpunk 2020. So, this year is going to be like those kind of things. We'll see more gameplay for Borderlands. We'll see all these games that aren't really attached to the main big, Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, all those kind of things. We're going to see that at E3, and I think that's going to be really special. So I do believe Harry Potter has a really good chance of being shown for the same reasons I talked about in the Game Awards, in that, again, you don't want something like this, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think if you're the publisher, if you're the developer, you don't want these heavy, intensified rumors about your product to be out for that long before you either confirm or deny that it exists. And they haven't denied it, and they haven't confirmed it. So they're kind of in this limbo where it's like, all right, We know it exists. We know people saw it. We know it's in Hogwarts. We know you're a fifth-year student. We know there's this element and that element. And I do want to make a video, once we actually see this game, once we find out about this game, I do want to talk about the things that I want to see in the game and the things I don't want to see in the game. So we'll be talking about that as well. And that could definitely, spin into a lot more videos about Magic Awakened when the time comes. I don't think this game is a 2019 game. I thought that at one point. I thought that when it was first announced, when the rumors came out about it, when the leaks came out, I thought this game could be a fall of 2019 game. I don't really see how that can happen now. Now, again, Warner Bros. Is kind of a publisher that is okay with the developer announcing the game and having it come out just a few months later. So if this does get announced at E3, if it's completely done, almost completely done, it's very possible it could actually come out in the fall. We've seen Bethesda do this with the Fallout games. We've seen even Batman Arkham Asylum. I've told the story multiple times. Remember, Batman Arkham Asylum was shown off at E3. It was supposed to come out, I believe, that October, and then it was delayed 8 months to June. So it was supposed to come out just a few months after E3, but it was actually delayed from the time we saw it for basically a full year. Now, I don't know if that probably wasn't actually to plan, but they do have a little bit of history there of announcing their games and releasing them rather quickly, which I'm actually a big fan of. I actually appreciate and want to see the game, and then a couple months later we actually get the game. I'm not a big fan of knowing about a game for 4, 5, 6 years, and not a lot of games do that, but some games do. Even games that we know for a couple years, I would rather it just come out and rather just see something a couple months before it comes out, and then you can rev up kind of the stuff that you show us. So if this game does get announced at E3, which I would put it, and I would personally put in my personal prediction, is like an 80% chance. And if that is the case and we do end up seeing it, then I would put it more at like a 50-50 shot if it comes out in 2019. But I truly don't think it will. And I don't want them to rush this game. If this game is what we've heard that this game is going to be, if the trailer and what we actually see from this game is what, it was talked about and it's amazing, do not rush a game like this, because this is I talk a lot about Star Wars and the Star Wars property and how I really, really want some fantastic Star Wars games and to do different things. Harry Potter is such a unique one too, and we really don't get any good Harry Potter games almost ever. We've almost never gotten a good Harry Potter game, let alone like an RPG where you go around Hogwarts and you have quests and you can go to classes and stuff like that. That's honestly never been done like that before. So I don't want them to mess that up, because it's a really good opportunity for them to do something special with such a beloved franchise. So guys, let me know in the comments below, do you think Magic Awakened will be shown at this year's E3? And if it is, do you think it comes out in 2019, or do you think it comes out next year for 2020? Do you think it's a next-gen game? I guess that also kind of goes into it. If it doesn't come out this fall, then that kind of means, in my opinion, that it's most definitely a next-generation game. So let me know all that stuff in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And again, these Gamescast topics go up every other week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. We're just going to have one more this week on Wednesday, talking all about E3, and I hope to see you guys there.